and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
You know that feeling, right? When you're sort of stuck in a really tricky social spot?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone is just, like, giving you judgment you didn't ask for, or you're just trying to learn something new, and suddenly some helpful stranger jumps in saying you're doing it all wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's really frustrating.
It is. It's bewildering. Sometimes makes you properly mad. So, welcome to the deep dive.
Hi, everyone.
Today, we're really plunging into, well, a collection of moments from everyday life, the kind that, make you stop and think.
Definitely.
About how we interact, how we stand up for ourselves, maybe for others too, and those really quiet battles, the personal worries we all have.
And we're drawing from a really rich source today, an audio snapshot from The Archers.
Yeah.
It's that BBC radio drama, been going forever, known for its, super realistic take on village life.
Right, Ambridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these little snippets, they give us this mosaic of conversations. We're talking everything from, believe it or not, golf course arguments to really deep personal anxieties. And what's fascinating, I think, is how these things that seem totally separate, they actually weave together.
They connect.
Yeah, they reveal these bigger truths about, well, human nature, community stuff, even prejudice sometimes.
Okay, so our mission today is basically to unpack all of that, to see what these moments really teach us about, like you said, calling out bad behavior, supporting people we care about, and finding your voice, which is hard, right? Especially when it feels like nobody really wants to listen.
It really can be.
So let's kick things off. There's this bit of conflict resolution, involves a character, Amber, and the advice she gets, it's pretty blunt.
Yeah, it is.
Basically, stop beating yourself up. Seems she felt she made a lot of trouble for herself by maybe not dealing with things earlier.
That seems to be the gist of it.
And the advice is, you have to call them out. And there's this great line from someone's mom. It's good to bare your teeth every so often.
Bare your teeth, I like that.
It means, don't take nonsense. Do what's right. But hang on, couldn't that backfire? I mean, if you're too aggressive, maybe you push people away. Especially in a tight community like Ambridge. How do you find that line?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's about that strategic thinking behind when to bare your teeth.
Right. Strategy.
Yeah. It's not just about boundaries. It's figuring out, okay, is a direct challenge needed now to protect myself, stop things getting worse, or will it just, blow things up unnecessarily? With Amber, the source kind of suggests she'd reached a point where staying silent was actually hurting her, that self-blame thing.
Okay. The cost of silence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes being firm, being clear, it isn't aggression, it's actually self-preservation. And it can clarify things for everyone, stop bad behavior spreading, that ripple effect.
So it's about asserting yourself, but maybe focusing on the behavior, not attacking the person.
Precisely. Finding that balance, making clear what's not okay without necessarily starting an all-out war.
Okay, that makes sense. Especially because things can go wrong so fast, even in totally normal situations. Which brings us to that classic annoyance. Unsolicited advice from a complete stranger.
Oh, yes.
We've got Martin. He's coaching Zainab and Chelsea in golf. They're really keen. They've been looking stuff up online, following a female pro.
Doing their homework.
Totally. They're committed. And then Lawrence appears.
Here he comes.
And immediately just dismisses Zainab. She's doing it all wrong. Adds that beginners, quote, slow things down for the rest of us.
It's just so deflating, isn't it?
It really is. It's such a rude interruption to what was, a positive moment. Almost like he enjoys it.
Well, it's striking how quickly that kind of positive learning space can just evaporate with uninvited criticism, especially delivered like that. So belittling.
Yeah.
It's not just criticism, is it? It feels like a subtle power play. Lawrence isn't actually trying to help.
No.
He's asserting himself, making their learning his inconvenience. It instantly puts them on the back foot, feeling watched, judged, not encouraged.
Yeah, definitely sets the scene for his personality, doesn't it? Someone who likes to feel in charge, put others down, even over a golf swing.
Exactly. And we see more of that unfold.
We do. And this is where it gets, quite infuriating, actually. Because, like we said, Zainab and Chelsea are genuinely trying. They're watching golf online, following that pro.
They're invested.
Exactly, which makes Lawrence's attitude even worse, especially that comment, "Oh, the lady golfers."
Oh, yeah.
It just dismisses them immediately, puts them in a box before they even really started.
It's a perfect example of what we call a microaggression. It's subtle. Maybe he doesn't even think he's being offensive.
Maybe.
But it is demeaning. It's based on their identity. Oh, the lady golfers. It's not just rude. It caps right into those old biases. You know, sports being male territory.
Right. And the sources hint the club is a bit old-fashioned.
Yeah, they mention it being a little old-fashioned, things like a ladies' tea on the notice board. Little things, but they add up. They reinforce that sense of otherness, those outdated gender ideas.
Thankfully, Martin steps up.
Yes, he does. He pushes back, tells them straight. I think it's really important to get more women to play and feel welcome. Don't let the dinosaurs put you off.
Dinosaurs. Good one.
It's such important allyship right there. Directly challenging that excluding vibe.
But Lawrence, he just doesn't quit, does he? It escalates. And fast. And frankly, it gets disturbing.
It really does.
He actually steps in, tries to physically adjust Chelsea's grip on the club.
Physically?
Yeah. Even after she says, clearly, "I'd rather you didn't touch me."
Why?
And then instantly he pivots, starts criticizing what she's wearing, her tight-fitting trousers, showing one's mid, calls it not appropriate, claims there's a dress code.
So he goes from unwanted touching to policing her clothes.
Exactly. It's a total invasion of her space, judging her appearance. Nothing to do with golf.
It's quite alarming how fast that happens, isn't it? The critique of her clothes becomes this invasion of personal space, a complete dismissal of her agency. Lawrence's behavior shifts from just giving bad advice to, well, harassment. It's got elements of that sort of benevolent sexism pretending concern.
For her own good or something.
Yeah, exactly. But it quickly turns overtly aggressive. He uses this thin excuse of appropriateness to control her, shame her. And then when she challenges him, what does he do? Calls her a little madame, tells her to toddle off home. It's such a classic power move, trying to shut down a woman who speaks up. It's about putting her in her perceived place.
It's not about golf anymore at all.
Not one bit. It's about control.
But Chelsea, she doesn't back down. Her response is really powerful. She says, "You're enjoying this. You wouldn't do this to a man, would you?"
Direct hit, calling it out for what it is.
And Martin steps in again, properly this time, calls Lawrence's behavior shameful, rude, and sexist language. Says he'll report him to the club captain.
Good.
And he makes it crystal clear. Lawrence's behavior will not be tolerated here. That feels significant, not just defending her, but setting a standard.
It really is. And it makes you think, right, how do we step in when we see something like that happening?
Yeah.
Martin's response is such a strong example of allyship. He validates Chelsea's experience, makes it clear it's unacceptable. And what's really effective is that he names it rude and sexist.
Doesn't just say unpleasant.
No. And he promises consequences reporting it. That sends a message to everyone, including Lawrence.
Yeah.
There are standards here, and they'll be enforced. It's not just about one person. It's about the community's values.
And accountability.
Exactly. Moving from just watching to actively supporting. It's a really good model.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit now. We're moving from the drama on the golf green to something much more private. The family sphere, health worries.
The very different kind of tension.
We get these little glimpses, people moving house, setting up a new home, the usual kid stuff, you know, no jumping on the sofa.
Yes.
And the hope that Martha, the daughter, will brighten up the place.
Yeah.
But just underneath all that normal domestic life, there's this really deep, quiet anxiety.
And this takes us into that really complex area of parental anxiety, especially around a child's health.
Yeah.
It really highlights those invisible weights parents carry, doesn't it? Even when things seem happy on the surface. The source material does a great job showing not just the practical side of family life, but that whole emotional undercurrent.
That hidden world of worry.
Precisely.
And specifically, we learn about Alice. She's deeply worried her daughter, Martha, might have fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, FASD.
Right.
Which, for anyone maybe not familiar, is a range of conditions, potential challenges, physical, mental, behavioral, if a mother drank alcohol during pregnancy. And Alice is worried because of her own past drinking.
It's a heavy burden for her to carry.
Hugely. And they saw a specialist, but the outcome was, well, confusing.
Ambiguous, yes.
The specialist apparently said nothing to be concerned about, which sounds great.
Initially, yes.
But then adds the killer caveat. No one can tell until she's 6.
Oh, wow. That's a long time to wait. in uncertainty.
Exactly. 6 years. That's an agonizing wait for answers.
And it's really striking how that lack of certainty can actually make the anxiety worse, not better.
You'd think maybe nothing to worry about would help, but
But the "until she's 6" undermines it completely. For Alice, this ambiguity seems to just ramp up the stress. Her wanting to monitor Martha and write down any concerns, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
yeah, trying to get some control.
Exactly. It's that very human need for control when everything feels uncertain. The monitoring becomes her way of coping, of doing something, even if it's stressful in itself. It shows how sometimes not having a clear diagnosis can be tougher than getting difficult news. You're just stuck in this emotional limbo.
And then you get the other side. The male character, her partner presumably, he thinks Martha seems absolutely fine.
A different perspective.
And he's worried that Alice's anxiety, her constant worry, is gonna rub off on Martha, which adds another layer of stress, doesn't it?
It really does. It becomes a conflict not just about Martha, but about Alice's response.
And how they're coping differently.
Exactly. It makes you think about how partners navigate these huge worries together, and how our own past experiences shape how we see things, how we cope.
Yeah, he mentions his own childhood.
He does. He talks about having a cleft lip and remembers his parents feeling embarrassed and probably guilty, even though, as he says, it wasn't their fault.
So he sees that guilt in Alice.
Yes, he makes that direct connection, which is quite insightful, shows real empathy, actually. It reminds us that so many parents carry this guilt, often for things totally outside their control. It's powerful, but can be really isolating.
And his worry about it rubbing off on Martha, maybe that's his way of trying to protect her from feeling watched, like maybe he did.
That's a very plausible reading. It could be his protective instinct, maybe shaped by his own past, wanting to shield his child. Even if, it comes across as potentially dismissive of Alice's very real fears right now.
It's complex. Ultimately, there's this reassurance offered, kids are resilient, and that Alice will come to see that everything is okay.
Awful note.
Yeah, but it makes you ask, what does resilience even mean here? Is it just bouncing back?
I think here resilience is more than just bouncing back. It's an active thing. It's about navigating the difficulty, finding strength, often through connection, through support.
Okay.
For Alice, even just talking about her fears, even with the uncertain outcome, that's a kind of resilience. For Martha, the message is about the environment around her.
Yeah.
Can we help her grow stronger through this, with belief and support?
So it's about the family coping together.
Yes, exactly. That shared understanding, that support, it's vital for getting through these tough times. It shows resilience isn't just individual, it's often communal, found in those connections.
Which kind of links to another theme that pops up.
Loneliness.
Ah, yes. That comes through quite strongly in places.
Someone mentioned the initial novelty of living alone is worn off. Another character just states it plainly. We all feel it sometimes. Loneliness.
It feels like it's not just about being physically alone, but maybe that erosion of connection, especially when you're carrying big worries like Alice is, perhaps in silence.
Definitely. We also hear about someone, Harrison, staying away in Yorkshire, and how hard it is to keep that connection going. Voice notes just aren't the same.
No, they're not. It shows how fragile those bonds can feel, how easy it is to feel a bit adrift.
And it really underscores that universal human need for connection, doesn't it? When those ties fray, maybe because of distance, or life changes, or even because people like Lawrence are actively creating division.
Right, like at the golf club.
Exactly. It just amplifies those feelings of isolation, of not belonging. Communal spaces should build connection, but sometimes, as we saw, they expose the cracks. They can make you feel more alone in the crowd.
So loneliness isn't just personal, it can reflect the community too.
I think so. It reflects the community's ability, or sometimes failure, to really embrace and support everyone. When people feel othered or carry heavy burdens silently, that isolation deepens.
And speaking of people sowing division, let's go back to Lawrence for a moment.
Okay.
Because it wasn't just the sexism on the golf course, was it? There's something else, something darker.
Yes. Chelsea reveals something else later on.
She does. She tells her friend that Lawrence said horrible stuff to her little brother, Clee. And the implication is clear. It was racist.
A very serious accusation.
And her friend is shocked. Like, really? Him? And Chelsea's response is just chilling. She says, well, that's the problem, isn't it? You don't until they are.
Wow. That line really hits hard.
It does.
Because it speaks volumes about how prejudice can just hide in plain sight. You don't see it, or maybe you don't want to see it, until someone you know experiences it directly.
Right.
or until someone has the courage to actually call it out.
The friend's surprise shows that, right? The assumption that it couldn't be him.
Exactly. It highlights that common mistake. Thinking prejudice is always loud and obvious. Chelsea's line, "You don't until they are," just captures that awful truth. People can hold these deep biases that stay hidden until they actually act on them in a harmful way.
It's a stark reminder that sexism and racism, they can exist in the same person.
They absolutely can, and often do. And we might not recognize it until it affects us or someone we care about. It also loops back to that idea of baring your teeth. Sometimes the harm is much more insidious. It takes a different kind of courage to bring that into the light.
Okay, so, wow, we've covered a lot. From the Gulf Green tensions to the really private worries of a parent, it seems like the big takeaway is how vital it is to not just find our own voice, but also to really, truly listen when other people find theirs.
Yeah, that listening piece is huge.
Whether that means, standing up to a bully like Lawrence, or supporting someone who's struggling with deep anxiety like Alice, or even just noticing the quiet burdens people might be carrying. These everyday interactions, they really do build or break our communities.
And stepping back, looking at the bigger picture here, what really stands out is how prejudice, both the loud kind and the quiet kind, is still so present.
Yeah.
And how critical it is for individuals to actually challenge it, not just notice it, but challenge it. It's also, I think, a powerful reminder of the huge emotional labor that happens inside families, often unseen.
Behind closed doors?
Yeah. And how much empathy and just a solid support system really matters. That courage, facing judgment and having real empathy when someone's anxious. That's what we need to build a world where everyone actually feels welcome and supported.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? Maybe think about a situation in your own life. Is there a place where you might need to, bare your teeth?
Or perhaps somewhere you could offer that listening ear?
Yeah.
Or just a strong word of support.
Yeah. How do we get better at not just seeing these moments play out, but actively stepping in to shape them for the better in our own lives, our own communities?
That's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something definitely worth reflecting
what are you doing
on.
now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever